Hey, what's up, E-Fitters? I'm here with Lee Berkey today of Sound Brain Optimal Neural Wellness. Lee, tell me a little bit about what you do here and how you got started with it.
Hey, thanks, Isaac. Yeah, we got started. My son, 18-year-old, had some concussions, sports-related concussions, memory issues, and couldn't remember his phone number, where he parked his car in a parking lot, so on and so forth. And I found this product down in Las Cruces, New Mexico, where he was going to school. It worked for him so well. It passed his graduate exams a week later. He felt great about things. And at that time, he said, hey, let's move forward on this, bring this to Gig Harbor so other people can get the same kind of results in their life.
Excellent, excellent. So tell me a little bit about how the process works, Lee.
So Isaac, so what we do, we ask people to come in and we do an assessment. It takes about an hour to do the assessment. That identifies where the imbalances are in the brain and maybe where we can get results for folks and help them achieve their goals and overcome some inhibitions that are limiting their future success.
Okay, so for example, like a lot of my clients are dealing with having focus and clarity in their life to make the right decisions and behaviors. They feel distracted. They might be in the super aisle and they're thinking like, oh, I shouldn't get these pastries, all right? And like, I don't even want to eat these pastries, but I feel like and then they walk away, I want to eat dessert. So what are kind of the people that you work with and kind of how you've helped them?
Boy, Isaac, we work from kids that are 6, 7 years old up to elderly people 70, 40, 74 years old or so. And what's going on in their head, they've got so much chatter going on in their head to say, maybe I should buy this pastry, maybe I shouldn't. They got this voice going on, and it's a self-defeating kind of thing. So what happens is we quiet that down. The person is actually able to see, do I really want that? No, I don't really want that. They no longer have the urge to buy those pastries or participate in a certain activity that might not be that beneficial for them. So just by allowing the brain to kind of see what's going on, give it some insight, and guide itself to a balanced state, people find balance and harmony in their life, and things are more successful.
That's awesome, and I know I was speaking with you earlier about just how the process works. Do you mind if we go back there and take a look on kind of what the technology looks like as well? Because I know it's a really unique technology. Now tell me a little bit. You told me it was being used for post-traumatic stress for the military, and it was tested. Tell me a little bit about that.
So in the world of EEG or neurofeedback, it's becoming well known that neurofeedback is an effective process for post-traumatic stress disorder. In fact, now QEEG, or the more technical term, is actually being accepted by the VA as part of the process, where pharmaceuticals simply aren't doing an effective process for everybody, helping them out all the way. So essentially what we do here is, after we do the assessment, we're going to make some placements on the scalp, 7 different placements on the scalp, where we're going to identify where the brain imbalances may be. So it's a simple 2-channel system. The amplifiers over here, what we have here is 2 sensors that will go on the ears for 0 reference, 2 live sensors where we're going to be placing different parts of the scalp to get the readings that we're looking for, and then the ground. Simply what a person does is sit in the chair. What they're going to be doing is 7 different placements, and there'll be 3 minutes per placement. First minute is going to be eyes closed, second minute will be eyes partially open, and the third minute will be a task associated with the area. So if we're working the front part of the brain, we're looking for short-term memory. The person will get a series of numbers, like 3, 6, 9, and repeat them 3, 6, 9, and we'll keep adding numbers to that just to see what the brain's doing in an active state. So we get a map from the brain while it's at rest and at task, and then from there we can identify where the imbalances may be and where we can help people show improvement in their life. If we can quiet the low frequencies in the front part of the brain, people then identify themselves as being able to focus better and have less addiction issue.
Very cool, very cool. And I know like there's these headphones here, so therapy basically works like the brain waves are turned into numbers, correct?
Correct. So it's all computer based. It's all numbers. Essentially, what we do after we do the assessment, we will design a training program. What it amounts to is we're going to make placements on the scalp, make it the design that says, okay, we want to lower the low frequencies, say in the front part of the brain. We make the placement with the sensors on the front part of the brain using a simple EEG paste, and then what happens is the person places the headphones on, and what they're going to see or hear is an auditory mirror of what's going on in the brain. So in other words, we're translating brain waves into sound waves, and these sound waves are being played back to the brain or to the person, so the brain is actually observing itself, and change happens through observance. It's a very simple, straightforward process. Kids really like it. They come in and say, boy, I can't wait to go back to Sound Brain and get my brain balanced. We're working kids with ADD or ADHD, some hyperactivity disorder, high-functioning kids that are maybe doing well at school, but not able to control themselves. And after coming through here, their grades go up, and their parents are much happier not having them on a medication.
Oh no, we completely understand that, because everything's really from the central nervous system, and everything, when they say chemical imbalances, well, the chemicals and all the releases are coming from the brain. So if you can fix the main center, then it really fixes everything else. And so now this is so interesting that you get these audio signals, and then I know you were telling me a little bit about a Reiki practitioner and meditation. So tell me how this might compare to meditation, because we have people that love to do yoga and people that meditate and bring that clarity.
Thanks, Isaac. Yeah, we don't mind working with the population that's having problems, but I really like working with populations that are fit-orientated. Athletes are probably one of my best clients, because I have a coaching background, 13 years. I understand human performance. So what we see here is people that are motivated, that are tuned into their body, and they get fantastic results. I was working with a massage therapist, Reiki healer, and she kind of understood being mindful and being aware and touched with the more subtle things in the universe. And so what happens is she comes in, I think I know what's going to happen in here, and I might be making some noises, and it must be kind of cool. And I said, oh, okay, I got what you're saying. I know where you're going to be. So actually what happens around the third day is people go through a little bit of a shift. In other words, they stop using the old neural pathways and using the fresh neural balance pathways, and they start to discover a few things in their life, and they get a little more insight. So she came in on the third day, she's pretty quiet, and is going like, oh, this is a lot different than I thought it was going to be. And at that point, she'd be able to come deeper and more in touch with what she perceived as her calling. And so, in other words, she became more in depth in a greater meditative state. This is a great meditative tool. People indicate that they reach their meditative state sooner, and they expand more deeply and have a more fulfilling experience with that. My wife's a yoga. She does the hot yoga, and she goes, there's some certain protocols we can do. We can help with balance and the mind-body connection. She goes, boy, when I went in today, I was able to do so much more moves, more flexible and more stability and my balance boost. So she's pretty happy about the product too.
I love that, and it's just bringing the technology in the 21st century into everything that people have been doing for years and years, trying to bring that clarity to themselves. It's amazing. Can you show us some of those charts and graphs and a little bit how the numbers work, and maybe if you got some screen demonstrations? And
okay, Isaac, over here is this is me this morning. Essentially what we're doing here, we're working the temporals, which is kind of the spot right above the ears. And over on the left here, on this scale, is the amplitude of the signal. This is the timeline. And over here is the difference between the left and right. I don't know if you can pick up the left and right, but essentially we have left is the yellow and red is the right. What I did here this morning was actually I fell asleep. So what happened here is you can see the separation in the brain waves from left to right. And this is the deepest frequency. This would be deep delta. And as we move up into frequencies, you can see some separation. But over here on the left, we always see the scale differentiating. So what I'm looking at here is differentiating left and right. Now, you can see that as I fell asleep, as we go up into frequencies, the frequencies are actually going down in amplitude. If this was a regular person, and I knew they didn't fall asleep, and I see the separation left to right, this would indicate or correlate to what we would call a freeze state in a person. In other words, the left side of their autonomic nervous system is a greater difference than right. We would like them be within 10%. This is more like 65% at the end when I actually fell asleep. But take for instance, this is a regular client experiencing some issues in their life, and what they are in a freeze state. This type of person will tend to shut down or freeze in a state of stress. And this can come in different kinds of behaviors. So what I can actually do here is actually isolate these frequencies, say 10 through 30, which are the lower frequencies, actually isolate them on the left side of the brain, and show the brain that, hey, maybe you're a little too out of whack there, maybe a little too high, and encourage that side to go down. We follow that with a two-sided design, and the brain will respond to that, and people become more content, and maybe they'll speak out next time under stress. And I've had a young lady, or an older lady, she's actually depressed for 20 years, clinically depressed on medication, and was actually disabled, and she came in and had great results to the process. And when she came in like that, she was overwhelmed, and that's When the left side is high like that, it's an indication of people being overwhelmed. That's something that would people might not be able to get out of bed. They think so many things are going on in life. I can't get by things. She called me right before Christmas. A lot of encouragement and positivity in her voice. Said that she's no longer on her medications. She's now employed because before she was disability. She's waiting for a call back to the school district. So that was a great success story for us to make that great of an impact on somebody that age in their life.
Wow, that is so amazing. And tell me, how does what you do compared to hypnotists may do or things like that?
Okay, that's a very good question because I have a little bit of background in hypnotherapy. I got into that for mostly being able to talk to athletes during the coaching. Never put somebody under, but I want to understand the language, so I understand the background in this. And essentially, it's very similar in the fact that we are changing the brain's patterns and their outlook life and gaining insight to what's maybe causing the problems. What this does is we're actually able to measure and target the frequencies as we go. Regular hypnotherapists may be able to get some feedback from the person and say, yeah, I feel better here, or I'll resolve this incident in my life. But here, we can actually change the brain by allowing the brain to see itself. So it's going to actually change the brain waves that are being driven by those memories. So we actually remove or reduce the symptoms associated with people's incidents in their lives by adjusting the brain waves, and people gain insight to those issues in their life and actually resolve them. They still remember those incidents, but they don't have that same negative impact. Lots of times you have that negative noise in your brain about somebody you don't really like too much, and then they gain insight to why do I not like that person so much. So you still remember that person. You may not like that person still, but the negative impact, in other words, your heart rate going up and getting all mad about that person, that doesn't happen anymore.
Wow. Tell me a little bit about how this would also help sleep, Lee. Like, for example, a lot of our clients are always working out, really busy, kids, family, all these stressors, and they just need high-quality sleep. They're always waking up and they're always feeling tired. How would something like Sound Brain help with that?
Well, Isaac, that is our number one best thing that we can do here, to tell you the truth. We just finished a study, Brain State just finished a study at Wake Forest Baptist Medical Research Hospital, and we're waiting for it to be published, but we know the results were great. All of our clients, all of them, always get better sleep. We can identify sleep issues where they have trouble going to sleep, where they have trouble getting back to sleep after they wake up at night, and all of our clients have improved sleep and the quality of sleep. Many people come in and say, oh, I'm sleeping 8 hours, I'm sleeping 10 hours, or whatever the case may be. But what actually, we ask them, when you wake up in the morning, are you rested or not? Oh, I'm tired. And I go, well, that's not restful sleep. We are able to help that people through that, so they do wake up, they're deep quality sleep, and they're more rested. And sleep is the number one health issue today. I mean, you gotta have your sleep. I don't care how much you're working out or what you're eating. If you don't fix your sleep, you got a big package of your whole life that needs to be corrected.
I totally understand that. I've had some single mom clients that were just so busy working, taking care of the kids, and trying to work out, always tired, and it doesn't matter how many hours of sleep, they'd feel tired too. So it's not just the sleep you get, but the quality of sleep, and I can see how something like this would really help just bring that clarity and impact and be so beneficial to so many people's lives. Lee, tell me how someone can get some more information about this exciting technology that you're using.
So Isaac, SoundBrain's website is www.gigharborbraintraining.com. Our phone number is 253-432-4418, and my email is burki@gigharborbraintraining.com. I'd be happy to answer anybody's questions and help them understand exactly what we do.